Welcome, Uber Nation. I've been meaning to make a video about this for the longest time, and I just keep putting it off. But today is the day that I'm doing it, and I'm doing it right now because it just happened to me. So it's still fresh in my mind as to the reason why I was going to do it in the first place. Besides Uber Pool, if you guys watch my videos, besides Uber Pool being the most frustrating thing to me about Uber, there's one other thing that it far exceeds my dislike for Uber Pool, and that's the fact that you cannot see the destination of where these drivers are going. I always get screwed by this. I get screwed by this repeatedly all the time. Uber recently released a destination filter to an attempt to avoid this from happening. However, as you all know, they are limiting us to 2 destination rides per day. It's just not enough, all right? I do this part-time. I fit it in when I can get it in, all right? So today, as we speak, I just dropped off a passenger, and I'm rushing back to make it back to my regular job, my real job, back in time. I gotta be there shortly. It looks like I'm gonna make it, so it's okay. But the fact remains that this should not be happening. All right, so I had about 2 hours to play with before I had to be at my job, and I said, you know what? And currently, my area's got this promotion going on. If you complete 5 rides by tomorrow, they give you an additional $25 bonus. So 5 rides is nothing. So I was like, let me go ahead and try to do this. I did 2 earlier this morning, then I had to be somewhere. So I stopped working, and I just logged back in about an hour ago, and I had about 2 hours before I had to be at work. So I was like, in 2 hours I should be able to do 3 short trips and get to the 5. Boy, was I wrong. So I live about 15 minutes away from my job, and I'm at home. I get this hit about 5-6 minutes away from my home. I went and pick them up, and they go way out the way. They end up going 45 minutes away from my job, further south. And the thing is, I know how to avoid this kind of stuff. Usually if I'm cutting it close, usually I try to call the passenger and ask where they're going. I don't like doing that. It's just an extra step that I don't like dealing with. Plus, it's unprofessional. But I do it, when I'm cutting it close. But today I was like, I got 2.5 hours left. There shouldn't be no issues. I didn't call. I went and pick them up. Don't know where they're going, obviously. Start trip, boom. They're going an hour away from where I was, an hour. So that puts me about 45 minutes away to return back to my regular job from where I dropped them off at. And it looks like I'm gonna make it in time, but this shouldn't happen. So what I'm saying is this: I use a destination trip every now and again. If I know that I gotta be somewhere shortly or whatever, and I'm cutting it close. But the thing about today is, I was trying to do that promotion. I was trying to do the 5 rides to get to the promotion. And if you use destination filter, it won't qualify towards the rides that you are required to take to meet the promotion. So it doesn't count. So that's why I didn't do filter. What I'm saying is this, Uber, all right? The system is good. You're on the right track. But first of all, 2 is not enough. There should be more like 5 maybe, all right? That's more doable. But aside from that, the destination filter really needs to be tuned up some. What I'm suggesting is, instead of putting in an actual address or an area, whatever the case may be, you could put in the city. You could do, different things with the system. But instead of dropping the pin, what I'm suggesting is, let's say there's an area you need to be at for whatever reason. You might have to pick the kids up, about a certain time from school or from the daycare, or if you do this part-time like me, you might want to be around your job because you got to be there shortly or whatever the case may be. Like today, I got to be at work at a certain time. So what I'm suggesting is, Uber, to update the system and to make it more efficient, instead of doing the pin thing, I'm suggesting that we do some kind of shading, right? So you should be able to shade in the area in which you want to remain in, so you can fit as many rides as you can in the time that you're available to maximize your potential earnings with no fear of being driven away from the destination where you want to be at and remain in. So the way it would work is you would get into the system, you would be able to select the zone. You can select the zone, for instance. I want to remain in this area right here, or in this zone right here. And all the rides that you receive will end up somewhere in that zone. So that way you got no fear of being pulled away from where you need to be. And in this case, like today, I'm rushing back to work now because it just happened to me. If you've been doing this long enough, this has definitely happened to you. I can bet my bottom dollar that it's happened to you. And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating going to pick a passenger up and not know where they're going to take you. I'm all for showing the destination before you pick the client up. I know why Uber's not doing that, because people were picking and choosing and trying to filter through all the good rides or whatever the case was. I understand that, but there's got to be somewhere. There's got to be a common medium. There's got to be somewhere in the middle where we can meet. You know, as a professional driver, we should know where we are going to go, what area we're going to be going to. The destination address should be provided to us. It's just that simple, y'all. It would prevent so much hassle, cancellations, you know, people calling the clients. That's so unprofessional in my opinion. But we're forced to do it every now and again. You know, I do it all the time. When I need to do it, I got to do it. I got no choice. Certain things you just can't risk. You can't risk being late to work. You can't risk being late to pick the kids up from school or from daycare or whatever the case may be. People got places to be. Just like the commercial that Uber put out in my area the other day. It goes something like, now you're earning, now you're chilling. Now you're grinding, now you're chilling. Now you're hustling, now you're chilling. That's what I'm talking about. If you're going to be all about that commercial Uber, this is something you really got to consider, man. This is something you all really got to do. You got to look out for the drivers, but it also helps you out too, because the driver can maximize the earnings for both us and for the company in the time that they have left to be able to work in. This is a great concept, y'all. Think about it. To zone the area you want to be in with no restrictions or limitations of how many you can do. I want to be in this area, boom, I'm in the area. Every ride I pick up, boom, is going to be in that area. I got no fears of being dragged away from my area, from the destination that I need to be at by a certain time. But I want y'all to listen to this. Like, comment, subscribe. I haven't seen no other videos about this yet. Like, comment, subscribe. I love y'all. Uber on, Uber Nation, the real route, checking out. Go Nats, baby.